Hi team, this is Amy Pador. Thank you for taking the time to view this presentation. For the CIBE, I chose the article Fixing Supply Chain Snags, a Top Priority in Several U.S. Sectors. This is from Zinger News, a contributor to Forbes magazine, and this was retrieved from Forbes.com. One issue the U.S. faced during the global COVID pandemic was a shortage of protective gear, including masks. This was a result of offshoring the production of masks to other countries. As a result, U.S. President Biden initiated a government review of supply chain issues. This review focused on 4 industries: energy, information and communications, pharmaceuticals and public health, and the defense industry. According to McKinsey & Company, businesses can expect a month of production line delays every 3.5 years due to supply chain issues. McKinsey's research also found 180 product categories where manufacturing was mostly dominated by a single country. Although a single market strategy leads to the highest productivity at the lowest cost for the manufacturer, relying on a single country can lead to disruptions such as labor unrest, material shortages, political change, or instability in currency. Another issue with having so many manufactured products overseas is losing the advantage of innovation. Ultimately, volume drives both innovation and operational learning, which, in the absence of commercial volume, the United States will not be able to keep up with the technology in terms of quality, cost, and workforce. As we learned in our textbook, resources and capabilities can be turned into unique knowledge, skills, and other competencies in which companies use as a competitive advantage, and this leads to innovation. Korea and Taiwan will take the lead in innovating the next generation of chips, as they have the lead in producing these items. In addition, the U.S. manufactures only 2% of active ingredients in pharmaceuticals, and China controls 85% of rare earths refining. Chips are a critical supply chain as they are used in semiconductors, which are a component in automobiles, consumer products, and electronic devices. Other industries affected are high-capacity batteries, which use rare earth metals, and solar panels. The solar panel industry is having to raise prices due to higher material costs. The companies who rely on these materials and who are invested in these industries will have to analyze the cost of relying on these products from overseas or find a way to produce them closer to the U.S. While it may make logistics easier to produce closer to shore, the cost could still be more than producing overseas. It would depend on the item, materials, and how it is produced. The companies would also need to analyze where they are at risk and develop backup plans for their supply chains. Methods that businesses typically use to identify risks are information processing processes, automation, artificial intelligence, and relying on experts to sort through the data. As a result of the supply chain issues companies in the U.S. face, the Biden administration may implement tax breaks and other incentives in order to entice key manufacturing, supply chain, and mining functions to nearshore or onshore their operations. Reduced taxes may be seen for those companies who are able to reshore operations. This would lead to cost savings for those companies. For production that cannot be done in the U.S., there may be fewer deductions, or an increase in taxes may be the result. It will be interesting to find out what happens with the manufacturing and the global supply chain and what incentives the government may impose to reshore production. According to our textbook, reshoring to developed countries was already on the radar for many companies. Nearly half of U.S.-based manufacturing executives at companies with sales greater than $10 billion are planning to or are considering returning production to the United States from China, and this was before the COVID-19 pandemic radically changed the game. As COVID-19 tested the world, global companies across 12 global sectors, including North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific, excluding China, announced plans to reshore activities, signaling the first reversal in the multi-decade offshoring trend. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to receiving your comments and reviewing them